I know a lot, I have white friends, I have white colleagues, I have a lot of people who are different, I don't know, they got different stances. Some are closer to understanding and some are a heck of a lot further of understanding. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to highlight the fact that these people getting pissed off and burning stuff is not for no reason. It's not because they want to be ghetto. I've heard a couple of videos of people. This girl was recording her parents. He was like, they just want to be ghetto. They just want to be reckless. And I'm just like, bro, and that's really what you think. But they have no idea what it feels like for some of the scenarios that we went through. So really, I wanted to share some of those scenarios.
And those are some of the things too, because I think you have those people that are like, yeah, listen, man, we're here. We understand the purpose and the reason behind it. You know what I mean? And we're supporting that purpose. And then you have some people just taking advantage of a situation, which you have.
You got looters. It come with the territory.
It come with the territory. So, and I think that's where some people are getting the message confused, because the reality of it is that, especially me being in, us being in the black community, it's like, what I don't want is to take something like, don't water down the message. You know what I mean? Don't let the message get lost in translation where, people are forgetting about what this is actually about. If we, you know what I mean? Like, this is why and this is what's going on. And if we can keep that message consistent, then it's like it doesn't lose its influence over time rather than it becoming about something. And I think that's where people are having that kind
of... 100%. But I would 100% be lying.
Yeah.
If I did not say... I understand why they're looting too.
Oh,
burn it all. Burn everything. Yeah. I'm just like I ain't in front, bro. Like real. Sometimes I be like, you know what? I mean, how many times we gotta scream? How many times we gotta yell? How many times, like, even when we do it in a like a calm way, it's just like Martin Luther King, peaceful.
Yeah.
They had peaceful sit-ins in the cafes because black people couldn't eat in, and they had to go to the back door, and it's just like all that was peaceful.
Yeah.
Fire hose. Getting drenched and hit with them hard fire hoses, with those dogs biting them. You see these white people dragging the people of our black community, which is only back in the 1950s, which wasn't that far ago, dragging them out while they were peacefully sitting. It's just like, how much longer do we got to be peaceful? So I'm just like, part of me is just like, hey, you know what? I'm tired. I don't care what people think no more. I'm about to start.
We're not allowed. I mean, and that's the whole part is that, you can be as vicious as you want. Certain people can be as vicious as they want. They can, have all of these, social injustices, and we can participate in all of this, all racial, racism and everything else that's going on. But then the moment you start fighting back in a way that is similar to the way that we fight, it's like, oh, you're not allowed to. We can treat you however we want. But when you start doing it, then now...
Well, I almost cussed. Don't get riled up, man.
No, man, and that's the reality of it is that, man... like, how many times are we expected to fight, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you got a gun, and I'm expected to come in and fight with a pillow, every single time. But the moment I bring out a gun because you brought out a gun, now I'm wrong for bringing out a gun because you brought out a gun. You know what I mean? And so that's how... how do you fight? And what do we say when you've tried?
But at the same time, me personally, again, I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm not looking for nobody's permission on how to properly execute this systematic reoccurrence.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for nobody's permission. Really, I'm like, yo, what are we going to do to progress, to make moves and not do mouth service? We in the black community, we got our issues already. We gonna talk like after all of the rioting is done and all the protesting is done, black people, we gonna talk.
Yeah.
Because we gonna like, I'm not waiting for somebody else to die again. There's too many times that I could have been Trayvon Martin. Too many times I could have been George Floyd. It's just
way too many times, man. It's a lived thing that when you have that lived experience and that type of trauma, stuff that's happened to you. What I want from this as a black man, what I want by the end of this is like, okay, we've screamed. People have screamed with us. Now that all the ears are listening, at the end of it, who is presenting and how do we present a message after that? Like what comes after? Like, okay, cool. We rioted, we did all of this. Now,
I want action.
What's the action? You know what I mean?
Like, let's create a proposal.
Yeah.
Let's have smart goals, specific, measurable, attainable. What is that? Realistic and timely.
Yeah.
Let's get those SMART goals in check in this proposal to say that this is what we say that we want. This is how we plan on doing it. This is the time frame that we plan on doing it in, and on a weekly and monthly basis, these are going to be the stone. What are the things called? Stone marking? What are they called?
The cornerstone.
No, not cornerstone. Don't talk about that.
Listen, man.
Because that's a whole nother conversation.
The milestone.
There we go.
Okay. Hey, listen,
The
man.
milestone. Like that.
Hey, man.
You don't know what it was about the oath, man.
Yeah, no, we ain't gonna talk about that
Cornerstone.
That cornerstone speech. No, but no, it's like we're gonna say like these are going to be like at this point, this is going to be the milestone that showcases that we are in alignment with what our goals are, and we're actually moving towards them. That's what I want to see. I don't want to have no more lip service. I don't want to hear none of that. So instead of talking, I'm working on a few things myself to be able to put into motion and to connect with some people to make sure that I'm not duplicating efforts.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And I think it's all about resources, uniting. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people that are out supporting the same cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And being able to unite with some of those people and come together to. It's going to be a long battle. You know what I mean? There's going to be feelings hurt. There's going to be so much, but stuff has to happen. Something has to change. I mean, you know, I look back and lived experiences that we've had with police aggression and brutality and, you know, all of the social injustice, systematic oppression and racism. You know what I mean? You live with it every day, man. I remember.
That's why I was laughing.
It's not funny, man.
We can laugh on it now.
It's difficult, man. You know, at the time and living with that traumatic experience.
I got PTSD.
I do, and for real, you know. So, you know, I remember having, you know, when we were cleaning out, cleaning out your mom's house, and you guys were moving up the street, and to hear the white neighbor next door, you know, say, "Hey, you know, who's over there? I'm calling the police," and you're like, "It's me. I've lived here.
I've been here for 10 years.
You know."
You don't know it's me. Here go my king.
Called her by name and everything, and me witnessing that, and it's like, okay, she obviously should know who he is. She's been here for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and so then, you know, for her to say, I don't care who you say you are, I'm calling the police. You know, for you to try to address it again, like to make sure she knew who you were, you know, and then from there we decided like, okay, nothing worse. You know, we don't want to be we don't want to be seen inside the house and then they automatically bust in.
Oh, yeah,
so what we'll do is we'll go outside, make sure that if the police are on the way, that we can sit on the porch, and then when they come in, like, hey, we live here, you know, hopefully we have an opportunity to be able to express and explain.
Check this out. My mindset behind making that decision was I was driving my mom's car. It was a purple, like, Dodge Stratus.
Yeah, I remember that car.
So I was driving that. I was scared that if I drove off and I make it home, I knew my mom was going to hop in the car and she was going to leave, and she got pulled over by the police.
Yeah.
And she found out that they was looking for me.
Yeah.
My mom was gonna kill me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no. I'm not scared of the cops. I'm scared of my mother. So
Yeah.
I was just like, so we're gonna sit here because my mom is gonna kill me. So we gonna sit here, wait till the cops get here. I'm not running. We're not going nowhere. We gonna wait for the cops to come here.
And then you figure, I mean, by the time they're coming, I mean, obviously we're approaching it in a calm way, thinking that, okay, you know, this is a system that's out to protect us and everything else. So, you know, to have them, you know, at that time where it's like, yo, when they pull up, we're watching. I mean, you would think that there's a...
Hold on, I was being an a-hole. Here's my a-hole moment. All honesty, right? They pull up, one cop car pulls up, and they had the floodlights. It was about like 8 o'clock, so now it's getting a little darker. It's in the summer. Yeah, got the floodlight, and I'm just like, God dang, I had a flashlight on me. And I had my flashlight, and I turned it on, and I said, I got one of those too. That was all I did. Bro, they pull up, that cop car pulls into the grass, 2 more pull up, another one pulls up into the grass. They hop out like it's a big drug bust, guns out, flashlight, pistols out. As they pulled up, I'm just like, okay, it's about to get serious. So all right, stop joking around, it's gonna get serious. I stand up. As soon as I stand up, I take a couple steps forward and just like, no, hands up. I'm like, look, this is before we can say anything, I'm trying to say this is my house. They hop out of their cars, flashlight, guns, they run the dogs around the back end, again, like a full drug bust. And they tell me to get down on the ground. And so now I froze, and I just, bam, and I go in the grass. I'm super itchy. We just cut the grass, and I'm laying in this freshly cut grass, as stiff as a statue, laying down. I didn't move my elbows, fingers, nothing. I just froze, and I tipped over, and I fell on my back.
And I remember that, man. I remember sitting there and watching the cop as he pulled the gun out and holding it to your temple. You know what I mean? Telling you that, man, if you move, I'll blow your head off. Like, what? You know, so I remember trying to be reasonable, you know, and it's like, man, if we were doing something, why would we wait out on the porch for you? You know, she obviously told us she was calling you, so we waited out here. You know, and trying to reason. Obviously, there was no reasoning with them. You know, and so then they have guns pointed at me and another friend on the porch, telling us to get down. So we're down on the porch, like, whoa, what is going on? You know, watching them with the, you know, point the gun at your temple. And then they're like, you know, you're trying to tell them, this is my mom's house. We've been moving stuff out. The keys are in my pocket. You know, it wasn't that we had done anything that had, you know, warranted them, you know, coming out with guns drawn or anything else. You know, we hadn't been resisting. We hadn't done. The only thing we tried to do is to explain to them and to make sure they answer that we live, you know, that he lives here. We're moving out. And I remember them going in and, you know, finally getting the key out. But the whole time,
let me paint the picture of that experience, because like I'm not gonna front. Like that is something that I'll never forget. Yeah. And that it was very traumatic for me. That is one of the key elements that made me feel like for the longest I hated cops. Yeah. Anything that would bring a cop to me, I drive slow. Still to this day, I will not go over 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. Yeah. Because anything that could bring them to, I don't want to talk to a cop. I don't want to shake hands. I don't want to interact. I don't want to. But that experience, bro, so they hop out with the guns, tell me, you know, get down on the ground. I fall back, and I'm sitting there, and I'm blinded by these flashlights. And then as they got the guns at y'all, and I kind of look over, and I see them got the guns at y'all. And then I look back up, bro, as I'm laying in this grass, I see flashlight, 9mm, flashlight, 9mm, flashlight, shotgun, flashlight, shotgun, flashlight, 9. There were 9 different guns, either 9mm or whatever hand pistol they were holding, and shotguns pointed at my body as I'm looking at them. And I'm sitting here, and I'm just like, damn, just don't move. Just don't move. And you know how, like, you know, somebody just be like, I'm not touching you. Yeah. And you just like, when they right there, you just like, I know you getting ready to touch. I was like, bro, I know they about to shoot me. And so I'm trying to tense up to get ready to take however many rounds of bullets come out of these guns. And so I'm tensing up, and then with a really tense jaw, I'm just like, I live here. The key is in my left pocket, and I just kind of moved.
I remember seeing you,
I said, the key is in my left pocket. I said, if you reach in my pocket and you get the key, you can open my front door. One of the cops, so now he comes down, he kneels down on his knee, and he puts the pistol to my temple. So now I'm laying on the grass with a gun to my temple, and the cop says, don't fucking move. And with that gun on my temple, he reaches into my pocket, takes it out, gives it to another cop. The other cop goes to open the door, and he leaves it there. And now I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, I'm completely helpless. There's nothing that I can do. There's nothing that any of my friends can do. And the people who called the cops, as you look over, I can see them standing on the sidewalk looking at me. A white man and a white woman looking at me with a gun to my temple. And then they open up the door and they say, oh, let him up, it's his house.
No, man, I don't know if you remember, but they went in and searched.
No, I didn't know about the cops. I'm like this. So I was facing outwards towards the street, so I'm looking at them looking at me, and back here was where y'all were. So I didn't know they did all of that. All I know is I heard a cop say, let him up, this is his house. And then I'm just like, they just like, all right, let him up. Then they let the guns. I'm like, get the hell off of me. Then I tried to go off. But it's just like, and then just the looks of those two white people's faces when they look at me, and they're just like, did y'all get him? And then they see that it's my house. Oh, we're sorry. The fuck? Jesus. What do I want to say to y'all? There's nothing to talk about. There's absolutely nothing that I want to talk to you about, because when I tried to talk calmly and tell you who I was and to reveal my identity, you didn't want to hear it because you thought that this brown face was a nigga doing something that he wasn't supposed to be doing. So I digress.
Yeah.
I think I done brought up all my bad emotions.
No, man.
Get my high blood pressure. But that was an experience that I will never forget. And bro, that was the quietest halfway ride home. And in the car quiet, I'm pissed off. I got tears coming down my eyes. And it was either you or Philando. It was just like, did you see how stiff Troy dropped when the cops came over? And then we bust out laughing and we start talking. And then immediately from that point, a repression process started. And you got to put that away because that's normal.
Well, that's what we're taught, right? That you gotta put it away.
We
There's no
didn't
proper
know our
place
rights.
to put it.
And
You know what I mean? There's no.
what men?
How do I express how I feel? You know what I mean? Because if I do something and I'm angry, then I'm an angry black man.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I do something over here, then I'm at risk for going to jail because of this, that, and the other, right? So it's like, now what do? I've got all of these things that continue to happen to me that no one's doing anything about the people that are doing these things to me. But if I react in a way other than taking it and putting it in and storing it away somewhere, if I react in any other way, then I'm seen as hostile, I'm seen as something else to where we've got to shut him up or we've got to do something about it. Just the fact of knowing that, you know what I mean, like trying to explain and to express. I remember shortly after that just trying to figure out what happened. And I'm not going to say where things were, where exactly you lived. You know,
Whitehall. Whitehall,
if you want to
Ohio.
share it.
Yeah, right, I want to share that. I do not like Whitehall
No.
cops.
And those are some of the things for me is like just knowing, you know, to be able to go in and try to find more information. And no one cared. No one even looked into it. Oh, okay. To know that for me was frustrating that no one even cared about what happened. You know, and I know that it's not to take light for those that have lost their lives. You know what I mean? That could have been us. You know what I mean? Easily could have been us. Knowing that if we moved, if anything had happened, that they were ready. You don't pull up on the grass. You don't pull up with, 3, 4, 5 cop cars, on 3 innocent kids. Now, I think what's important is to realize that a lot of times people see black people and they're like, man, they must have done something. You must have had a past. You must have some sort of criminal history that would have led them or warranted them to be able to do that. So let me explain something to you on what was going on at that time. I was, myself, a student. We were also a part of a ministry. We were going around bringing lives to Christ. We were doing community event, community service. We were out in the community feeding homeless, involved in church, involved in so many different ministries and things at that time.
Laying hands, praying for people.
Seriously, and to them it didn't matter what we were doing. They didn't even realize and recognize who we were or what we were doing. None of that mattered. All they saw was black. And our skin tone alone automatically made us guilty. No evidence needed. Nothing. It carried a sentence of being guilty in their eyes at that moment.
You know what I just realized? My other experience was from the Whitehall cops. I really don't like Whitehall. I think that's why I said that. Technically, that was CPD. That was the Columbus Division of Police, or wherever, however they mix their letters.
Yeah.
That was CPD. There's a whole nother story about what happened and how Whitehall cop flat out lied on me.
Yeah,
remember, I went there. I was crying in court. I was pissed. But what I realized about all this stuff is, we had no black men to stand up and vouch for us.
Yeah.
Nobody could say like this is going on long enough. My dad wasn't there. My dad didn't pull me down there and cuss them out. My dad didn't try to press charges and use his network power to let them know that the next time you see this little raggedy black face, you better not pull no gun on. Like, I didn't have that protection. I know plenty of friends that are white who do have that protection.
Yeah.
And it must be nice. It feels real good. That don't mean not all of them have that. But I know more white people who got connections like that than I do black. I don't know no black people who got that. Maybe Chuck.
It's the privilege that comes with skin tone. So we do, we stand, we obviously for all of those that lost their lives at the hands of police brutality, black people that have lost their life at the hands of police brutality, aggressive police misuse and abuse of power, the Breonna Taylors, the George Floyds, the Ahmaud Marburys, and so many other countless names that have lost their hands. We stand in protest that something needs to be done.
Yeah.
This continued racism, systematic oppression and racism has to end. I know it's a long journey to get there, but it seems like at times, are we getting better? or were we just hiding it?
I was about to say ignoring it or trying to forget it.
So, and it's not taken away from those people. We appreciate everyone that is supporting the cause, that's supporting the movement.
Absolutely, but it's not just about George Floyd. It's about the people who didn't die but still go through those same things.
Every day. When you
there's a Columbus police officer. I'm sorry. CPD. There's a guy in 2017. This black guy was handcuffed. I just watched the video today. He was handcuffed, and he was just saying like, "Yo, why are y'all arresting me?" He wasn't resisting arrest. He just said, "Sir, why are you arresting me, sir?" This cop runs up, stomps him in the face. Bah!
Yeah.
They just put him back on the police force, and he has 3 days suspension, no pay.
And those are things that, had it been me, let me just look at you the wrong way. Let me look at you the wrong way, and I could spend a year, 2 years, 5 years in jail by just looking at you the wrong way. Yet you can do whatever you want. You know, police are able to do countless of things, misuse and abuse power, and yet nothing's being done about it. So this is our cry. People are out crying that something is done about it, and we stand in protest with those. We love and appreciate everybody. Thank you for hearing our story. For many of you that continue to go through systematic oppression every day and the weathering of so many different things, racial remarks, the opportunities at work that you get overlooked on just because of the color of your skin, the things that you've been denied just because of the color of your skin, the racism that happens every day. I've had supervisors refer to me as the N-word, call me a nigger. And then I go to the OSHA and NAACP asking for, no, I went to OSHA asking for help, and to see that nothing happened from that. Those are the things that you have to live through daily, where no one is stepping in and knowing is assisting, and you're expected just to be able to hold that in, hold all that aggression and hatred inside. So we love you. Thank you for taking time to hear our story.
And if they don't meet our demands, we killing everybody. So
Red Arts GRP does not condone
playing, man.
Complete killing.
Yeah, no, we
maybe, possibly, man. David killed Goliath, so we might.
He did. I'm ready to throw some rocks.
I'm ready. Hey, listen, man, I can stone, chop off a head with a sword, man. Hey, man, we love you.